Okay, all right, folks. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Pub Radio. I want to thank all of you again. Tuning into LIBERIA Pub Radio this evening. Thank you. We decided to change our style this afternoon, and we decided to go with the mic and then the earplugs and whatever we have to do. We're letting the other one rest a little bit. LPR not paying my bill for me to pay for that. I asked LPR to pay me $200,000 because of the kinds of work that I do here at LPR. And guess what? They say I should pay myself. What do you think? Samson, no, unnecessary serious. No. Under the leadership of Mr. Alfonso Zion, so LPR continue to improve and continue to do more. And I want to take this time out again this evening to thank Mr. So, Mr. Alfonso So, Mr. Nathaniel Cripo, Mr. Alan Jeru, Mr. Mazola Gizi for being part of the LPR family, and the board chair, Mr. Jaru Masakoy, and Mr. Cade is still with us, and we say thanks to all of you because of all of your involvement. LPR continue to improve, and we'll do what we can to improve. The leadership of Mr. So, there's no failure here. He does not, and will not accept failure. This young man is unbelievable. I've worked with him. I see what he does, and I'm very impressed. But then again, who am I? Samson told LeBron Pabrito. Let's go. Welcome. Safety, folks. The disease. I'm going to say this here before I go praying. Let me get it out of my chest. Then when I pray, God will open the door for him to hear my prayer. The way the people behaving with their disease business here in the country. We, the diaspora, were caught in the middle. All we're saying, you'll find the medicine so people can get back on their feet and work and support two families. They're playing politics with a disease. Who doing what? Who not doing? What that got to do? I'm from Liberia, my people. We thank you for hosting us. But please, find a cure for this disease. Let our people go back to work so we can be able to support our family back home. The disease you're playing politics with is hurting our people as well. Because if we don't have the money to send back home, our people are hurting. Please, you'll find the medicine. You'll do the politics later. That your business. You'll do it. We'll clap for you. We'll watch the TV. And those of us that contribute will contribute. But please, you'll fix this thing here. The disease, putting the Liberian, I would say Liberian diaspora because I don't know about other people, but Liberian diaspora, we have to work. We have to go to work. So people are playing politics with the disease, and the disease kills people, so you're scared. You go to work, you're not too comfortable. Somebody coming to your office, you're wondering, where did he come from? What that person? The relationship, you go out, you like somebody, had war zone or something, looking over your shoulder, who wears my, please, you'll find the medicine now. Hey, America, your poor people on the moon. Your poor man from here straight to the moon. My people, man, people know you have their capability. If you ain't playing politics with this thing, with talent, you're feeling fixing it a long time. What kind of thing in the world America can fix? What thing America left from here, left from the United States, went to Europe and defeat the Nazi over there? Where you can fix? You redeem Korea. Where you can fix? Where you can fix? The scientists, best scientists in the world are all here. Where you can fix? But it's a very, very good example for small country like Liberia. You don't work together, this is what you have. These people have the ability to fix this thing. If they were working together, but this thing has been fixed. You don't work together, you can't do nothing. Even as great as the United States is, on a very serious note. If the people are not working together, as great as this country is, with all of the great democracy that every one of us try to emulate, they're not working together. One person going that way, the other person going that way, the disease is in the middle, they can't get it. They can't get it. Look what happened to that sport. The sport which is the base, the fabric of the society. Look what's happening to the sport. They've been divided as well. Forget about politics. Supposed to bring people together. And because of the divisive behavior that is happening right before our own eyes, those of us that are foreigners, you can see what is happening here. Then how much more about tiny country like Liberia? 1.5, 2.5, 4, I don't know, we're 4 now or what. If we don't work together, we're going nowhere. We will not get development. We will not get anything, because everything we're going to get basically will be hand out. And hand out, we're happy, my people. You all look at it a little bit. When the people feed their people their stomach full, then they look around. Anybody else? They say no. Well, you save the food for tomorrow. Then they say no. A lot of people need their food. Then they send it to us. That's hand out. If we work together, all of the 17 counties, if we work together, we will produce food. They rain in Liberia. When they rain, the grass grows. We don't have no drought situation in Liberia, my people. At least not yet. Look at the rainforest. And we're waiting for shipment of Becca rice because we're not working together. I don't know where I'm going with this here, but folks, that I just feel that I have to give it out before I start praying. Because it's very important. It's very important to understand the dynamic that is happening in this great country. I get outside right now in front of my door. The grass that there, the breeze blowing them like this. Of course, my wife said I'm on cut and I refuse because I want to fight war in the grass so people can see me. That elephant grass I got right now, she getting ready to kick me out if this grass is not cut by tomorrow. No, this is what she says she's going to do on a very serious note. If this grass is not cut by tomorrow, she will call my older brother James K. and explain either I cut the grass or James should come and get me and my children. So as soon as I finish here, I'm going to cut the grass. No, I'm very serious. No. But anyway, no, back to the topic, folks. The grass out there. The point that I'm trying to make is this country is so sweet, so good. So good, it's unbelievable. Those of us that are working in these technical area, we go out in the field and you see these people country. You go in the forest and you see tree, 400 years old tree. Unbelievable. You see the tree and you say, how does it happen? That's democracy. But look what's happening if they don't work together. If they work together, nothing can defeat this country, not even a disease. But we're seeing that not working together, what the result is. How much more about Liberia? We have to work, we have to work together. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us together. We say, please, my Lord, help us. This disease is out there, and we're concerned. But help us. Continue to protect us. Lord Jesus, you know we got two families. One family here in the diaspora that we put food on the table. Another family back home, we also provide food for them as well. We go to work, not because we want clothes or we want the best of all things. We go to these places, knowing fully what these places, most of them have the disease. But our ladies, our sisters, our brothers, our fathers, they go in there, knowing fully what the disease is there. But Jesus Christ, the people trust you. The people trust you, and they put their faith in you. And because of that, they go to these places, and they are being protected. And for this evening, my Lord, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for providing the opportunity for all of us. Lord, sometimes people wondering, why, how, when? No. God have already given your destiny. It's nothing nobody can do to change it. All you do when you get the blessing, just put your hand and face up in the air and say, thank you. Thank you, my Lord. Because who are we? Are we different from the other folks? No. No. But the blessing continues to be poured on us. And we're very grateful. Thank you for your mercy. God bless Liberia and continue to bless the leaders of Liberia. Give them wisdom to find reason to do the good thing for our country. Bless the host nation. With that, Jesus, I say thank you. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's go on. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Folks, I'm going to start the show now. Like I said, I'm changing the system. You see my mic here? I'm changing the system a little bit. So anyhow, oh, I don't even put my knee up there. No, I can't leave you without putting my knee. You have my knee there. You have my knee there. You see my knee? You see my knee? You see my knee? What do you say? Yeah, LPR Samson to. Thank you. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's introduce the show, folks. It's a very serious subject matter. I have about 2 or 3 that I'm going to be touching on here tonight. But as usual, tonight's subject matter is about voting and trying to do it right. However, this is our president of the Republic of Liberia. Let me say this again. Maybe many of you don't even know that. Because sometimes things you say is things you do, things you say about the president and the office. Perhaps you don't even know. This is the president of the Republic of Liberia. I don't agree with him on many, many things. If I was in Liberia, I wasn't even going to vote for him. But this is the president the people are giving us. How are you going to say you want to advocate for the people, but yet still you want to reject their choice? Are you saying they're stupid? Then if they're stupid, why you want to advocate for them? Respect their choice and continue to criticize and do so with responsibility. This is what we do. This is the president the Liberian people have given us for 6 years. He's going to come back again knocking to the door. Even if he didn't, someone else will come and knock into the door. And we're going to weigh these people's records. But that is the time the Constitution allowed us to vet these people, to vet them properly. But you can't at this time, because you're in the opposition just like me, you're going to be degrading the office, insulting, and you're hoping that when you sit in that office tomorrow, you don't want people to insult you either? No, we start now. We start respecting the president. We start respecting the office right now, so that when your time comes, we will have gotten used to behavior like that. But you encourage people, you encourage us to look down on the presidencies, to look down out of the man who's occupying the office. And then when your time comes, when your choice is in there, you want people to respect him. Is it not president that you're setting? And oh, well, when your time comes, then the president should be changed because it is your time. That is dishonesty at its height. Many things, and you will find some of my criticism again tonight. I criticize the president. I criticize this administration. But I must do so with responsibility. I must do so with respect. Because every one of you that are watching me, woman, man, that doesn't matter. Any one of you can sit in that office tomorrow. And you expect people, when you're sitting in that office working for the people of Liberia, that people should respect you and people should respect the office. Not everybody going to agree with you when you sit in that office that you're doing a good job. Far from it. But that does not mean that people should come and degrade you. You're a human being. First, Liberian. Second, president of the Republic of Liberia. Third, that office must be respected at all times. That's all we have. Some of you sit. Where's my flag? I can't even see my flag again. I got my flag behind me here. I will show it one of these days. But some of you sit, when you go to the gathering, public gathering, you have the flag, Liberian flag behind you. But yet still, you want to degrade the head of the office that represents the flag. then who are you? What exactly are you about? Criticize. Point out the weakness of this president. Point out the ills in the society. Point it out so that the president will know that there are certain things in the society that is not conducive with what is happening in his administration. But you must do so with responsibility. You must do so with respect. But we can't continue to carry this thing over and over and over. It gets sickening sometimes. If you're not going to criticize effectively, then stay so. State that you particularly don't like this president, and let your platform stay so. That your intent is not to advocate for the Liberian people, but you have a vendetta against this president. And we will understand that because you're a human being, like any other person. You have the right to disagree. You have the right to hate something. It's between you and your God. But do not carry us on your bike, doing the wonderful, wonderful job for us. At the same time, you come up with so much hate that it's difficult for us to discern which way you are going with this. You're speaking on our behalf, and you're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. But it's so hate-filled that people are wondering what will happen tomorrow if you sit in that office. And many of you that are advocates, you have tasted the political water. Most likely you will want to be part of this process tomorrow. Is that when you're going to pivot? Having personal wealth so much, is that when you're going to pivot? Because now you are on top of the hill. Now you want that hill to be respected. What do you say then if Samson say, I'm going to dig the hill until I find the bugger inside? Will you accept it? You're standing on top of the hill, but I'm digging underneath because I want to go after the bugger that are in the hill. Forgetting to know the importance of the hills. The hill, the part of the hill that is very important is where Liberia sits. The hill is there to protect Liberia, but I'm cutting it down because I'm going after the bugger, the queen of the bugger. If you're from the countryside, you know what I'm talking about. You're the people, you don't know what I'm talking about. So you just forget it. Because just from the countryside, when you, especially me, many of times, because of my behavior, bad, fighting, punishment, I got to dig the ball hill to take them off the football field. But one of the things that I didn't know from the beginning, I would not go after the queen. And so I thought by levering the ball hill, I'm done. In less than a week, they're by because the queen is there. Until the professor told me, you got to get the queen out. Queen? Yes. It's a big buck. And once I discovered that, all of my, and I will show you guys that on Total when I read to show you the Total video. All of my buckle hills that I took out, they didn't come by because I went after the queen. Is that what you want for us to do for you? Please. Liberia is the only country we have. Let us agree to disagree civil in minor, in a way that people, when they listen to you, but we're forced to listen to you. Even with all the hate-filled messages, we're forced to listen to you because we enjoy the work you do, not the process, not the languages that are being used, but the fact that you speak for us. And many of us are so scared. Many of us are so petrified to speak up. And so when we find one person speaking up the truth, we gravitate towards that person. But if all of us will have the courage that you have to speak up, we will not follow you. Believe me, we follow you because we're scared. We follow you because we're petrified to speak up. Because we have seen in the past people who speak, those of you that speak up for us, You're putting your life at risk. And we understand that. And that's admirable. We truly respect that. But at the same time, you're taking all of us for a ride. The hate-filled message must stop. Must stop. The Constitution is there. No one person is able to tear the Constitution apart. Liberia, especially for those of you young people, the country will be there for you. Don't tear it apart. Use the Constitution to the best of your ability. Use it to your advantage, because the Constitution is there to protect you, to protect all of us. But if we go at this thing with hate-filled messages, they will follow you. Because at this particular time, things you speak about, things you talk about, are things they want you and they like that particular part. But what happens if another government comes to power and the government is doing things for the government, for the people? You think they will listen to you? I doubt it. I doubt it. And I know that one of these days you will want to sit in that office. You will. I know. Just listening to you from time. Sometimes your true self comes out. And sometimes the personality, platform personality is what you have. That's good. I like that. But sometimes people listen to you and your true self comes out. And those of you that study people, you will want to leave because it's in your blood. But the hate-filled message is over the board. You are an educated person. You are an educated person, respected in a community. Perhaps it's difficult to turn around now. And I will understand that, because this is how you all will communicate. But what happens when you take the leadership? Is that when you're going to pivot? Folks, I thought I'd do this here this afternoon, because what I'm going to get into here is a heavy subject matter. Just briefly, I'm going to get into it. But I thought the message that are coming from our young people, especially those that have the microphone, it's not helping us. Look at America. I stated that a few minutes ago. This great country, right before your own eyes, is being torn apart. But good thing for this country, they have history. And they are strong. The fabric of this country is strong. They're going through civil war, but that was hundreds of years ago. So most of the people that are doing what they're doing right now, they have no clue on the Civil War. It's not fresh in their mind. It's a distant subject matter, classroom subject matter. Whereas for us, the Civil War is not the matter of classroom. There are people that are still alive that experience ridiculous way of living. So we're not far removed. The country is so sweet. Liberia is so sweet. Look, sometimes it takes a little thing to remind you how sweet the country is. I went home. Like I said, I work in engineering, that you know. So I go out in the field a lot, in these people's forest. And look at the roadway, what I'm going to do. I go in the forest. But one of the things that I have not seen, and it's in Liberia, they have this one, I think they call it sleeping grass. You touch it and everything fold up. After a while, they open up. They don't have it here. And that thing is plenty all over Monrovia, in the countryside. The things you have in that country, other people don't have it. You go up in the forest at night and you hear the monkeys singing, talking to each other. You can't have it here. You're in a city. You don't even have that. Your light's not even going out. You're up in the country, way in the village. Even the look under the cocoa tree, so peaceful if you clean it well. Bamboo Warren is all in there. My people, what other sweet country you're gonna have like that? When a car passed, the dust, you can't even see something for 4-5 seconds. That's sweet. You can't have it here. There are people in this country that which they can find place where they can drive their car, and they do. They go to live way up in the country and drive their car just so that it will make dust. The dust we scatter in Liberia. People in this country are wishing to have dust in their faces for once. That's sweet. That's sweet. When it's raining in Liberia, children taking out their clothes to play football in the rain. That's sweet. You can't do that in this country. You can't do that in this country. Yeah, you say, but because you've gotten used to some of the thing here. So you think these things to automatically be applied in Liberia. That's okay. That's how development comes about. But only this thing can come about, go up, come down, only if we work together. Only if we work together. And the working together start from the top. The top going to have to open up. If not, we're going to repeat the same thing. Because even Dr. Weah leave today, and Dr. Barker comes in, even the George Lobo, then they will do the same thing. The young man was here last night. I'm not saying he's going to be corrupt. That's not what I'm talking about. But they will repeat the same thing. They will do the same thing. No, the structure is not there to support what something people like George Lobo then have in mind. And what is he going to do? He can't build a structure all by himself. So in order for him to function, he's going to have to follow what he has. I'll come back to that subject, folks. I thought I gave you that this evening. Now let's go to the main subject matter here this evening. I have what I'm going to be touching on here just a little bit. My main subject matter here again this evening, folks, that was the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Weah, who is such a wonderful, wonderful president. Folks, I'm saying all of these things because I have to respect the president office. I'm not being, what do I want to say? I better be careful here. Okay, I'm not being deceitful. I have to. And when I use the word have to, truly have to, I have to respect the office of the President of the Republic of Liberia. That's my president. I don't agree with him. So if I don't agree with him on anything, I must take my disagreement as a civilized person with respect. Because then people will try to say, okay, well, even if they don't agree with me, they will want to listen. But if I start my disagreement with insult, one or two things gonna happen. Somebody who loves the president, who think the president is doing nothing wrong, they will insult me immediately. Or they say, I don't want to listen to them, man. They will leave. Then what happened to my point that I'm trying to make? Do I only make my point to those who agree with my point? And what's the best? What's the essence of that? If I just talk to people who agree with me, then what do I even need to say? Because we're all on the same page. But you need people who don't agree with you to listen to what you have to say. Because the essence of the engagement is to see if there's any compromise. Is to see who is doing what. If you have the ability to explain to the people your criticism, why you're criticizing, and what is it you're criticizing about, and if you can demonstrate your point effectively, Yeah, they are some die-high sedition. They'll say, I don't want to listen. Whether you rest, I don't care. They will say so. But they're human being like any other person. What you have talked about today, tomorrow, they might disagree with you today, but tomorrow they might experience the same thing that you just talked about. Oh, Mr. Toe said this, and I didn't agree with it. Okay, let me watch again. You see where I'm going with this? Now you have given that person some sort of a room to now make decision that will affect all of us. And this is why you engage positively. It's not to say you're afraid. No. So let's go ahead, folks. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. It's very interesting, very interesting. All right. So you vote, and I'll come back to this here, vote. But I want to do something here. Something happened within the last 2 or 3 days. And I thought that was very interesting. In the process of discussing rape, which most of the time, and I said most of the time, the victim are our sisters, mothers, and daughters, sometimes male as well. But we have Liberian young ladies that are educated, and some are working for the government. Some are not working for the government, but they also have the voice, have a platform. And sometimes they tend to engage. Sometimes they tend to engage each other, sometimes privately, sometimes publicly. And one of those was the public engagement. And I thought it was very interesting. Now, you have to be able to have the ability to compartmentalize issues as you get involved, especially an argument or an engagement that you are not directly involved. You are a listener, a participant by listening. And you must have the ability to be able to understand what is the issues. First of all, identify the issue the argument is about or the engagement is about. 2, who the two or what group, whatever it is, who are the people that are seriously engaged. Listen again, or let me tell you again. And there are certain words that will be missing in my pronouncement here, purposely. And after, when I'm done, I will come by the words that are missing. And then perhaps you yourself will understand why these words were missing. Let me start again. You have to identify the argument or the engagement. What is the subject matter? 1. 2, who are those that are engaging each other? 2nd. 3rd, the language that is being used. How are these words being put together to describe a particular issue? 4th, are these people starting from the beginning, diverging, and you don't see them coming together at the end? Is that what's happening? You have in anything you do, argument, whatever, you have to be on your feet and think ahead. Well, it's like anything. A football, before the ball comes to you, if you good player, just like me, I used to play. What team I was playing for in LIBERIA? Smell notice. Some kind of football team Slave over there I used to play for. I feel forgetting the name of the football team, sir. But I used to play for some kind of football team in Slave. But I was good. So I used to play for another high school called Wilson High School. It used to be on Center Street. And when we play Shadow Tower, Shadow Tower. They flock up so many goes to 0. Then we say we're not satisfied, we're going to go to warehouse store. They flock us. So many go to, then we go to SDA. Yeah, now that's the kind of team. We beat them. Because, we beat some team too. So I used to play football on a very serious note. In anything you do, you have to plan ahead of time. So let me say again, know what the argument is about, the subject matter, know who's arguing, and know what they're arguing about, okay? And then at the same time, know as to what are they gonna come out at the end, they're gonna come together. Words that are missing in this brief description that I give you. Motives. Don't get in the argument, or don't listen be participant while you're listening to the argument and try to find motives. Because if you do that, even if you're not involved, if you do that, try to find the motives. Immediately, once in your mind you identify the motives, you have taken side. There's no two ways street about it. Because if you identify the motive, you will attach the motive to a particular person, and by you attaching that motive to that part, you're looking. Now you have taken side. You now, without you being involved, but the fact that you have attached the motives to a person, you want that person to explain your motives. You see where I'm going with this? Something to you, something you have to get. But anyway, I'm not going to bore you with all of these logic, total logic. I call them total logic. They don't make sense anyway, but I call them total logic. But anyway, let's go on. So quite recently, we had the rape issue in Liberia, and the young people decide, and I will do the serious rape show here. Whole hour and a half strictly for that. But tonight I just want to talk about the players who are involved. Then there are two particular individuals that are involved, and I want to approach that from that perspective tonight. Okay, so quite recently we have the minister agenda, Madam Piso Tai, and the Nobel laureate Bowie. And I'm going to read the letter. I'm sure many of you have read it, but I'm going to read it here. Then please forgive me if I chop some word, because I can't read, but I will do my best. However, these two ladies, highly educated. Interesting. Not only are they educated, but they are involved in a society that is male dominated. You get what I'm going? You see what I'm saying? These two ladies, highly educated, but they are working and they live in a society that is male dominated. And at times, most of the male don't give a heck about who they're talking to, especially with female. They have no respect. Even at a higher level. But those of us that feel that the women of Liberia, especially the young women of Liberia, including the older women of Liberia as well, are doing a specific job for the country. Especially those ladies that are involved into the upkeep of the country. Whether opposition, government officials, whatever, they are doing a job. And some of us feel that these women are like an example for those of us that have daughters. Because I have a daughter here. I have two of them. And both, they are the man from Liberia, countryside. They're not from Clay Ashland. They're from the countryside. So why if these two ladies decide, you know what, we're going to go to Liberia. My mom from Liberia, my father from Liberia, I want to go to Liberia. Then what happened now? What happened if the man-dominated society continue to disrespect women? Would that encourage the young Liberians here in the diaspora that are doing well and educating their daughters? Can they now look at these kinds of situations and say, let me encourage my daughter to go to Liberia and help? Can you honestly do that? Can you see your daughter go into a society that have no respect for women? That these kinds of situations, rape epidemic, continue to be like wildfire? I don't think so. And so my point here tonight is this. These two ladies, first of all, I'm not going to go into their personal relationship. That's not what I'm going to be doing, but I would tell you what she wrote here. Pisota wrote what she wrote here. And that's how far I'm going to go when it comes to their personal relationship. I'm not going to leap. I'm not going to speculate. I'll say they're friends, according to Pisota. They know each other. But my concern is for them to have these kinds of clash publicly on an issue that affect mostly women. I thought that was very interesting. That was very interesting and telling. One is working for the government. The other one is out of the government, but has a huge platform. And she, the one with a huge platform, feel that the action of the government last week was appalling. In fact, she used that word. And so she felt within herself that instead of just being general in her criticism, she wanted to criticize a specific person who happened to be her friend. Now, the interesting thing, and this is what I like this kind, and this is who I am as well. But her position, I'm sure if you were to ask both of them, have them in the room and ask, their position coming to this argument, to this engagement, was very painful because these people are friends. And according to Pisota, they talk all the time. So I'm sure it was not an easy task for them to publicly engage each other. But Pisota, in her letter, she made it clear to every one of us that was father, except if you read it and you missed that part. And the people already missed that part because I saw some people responding on behalf of Madam Boy and debating Piso, whereas Piso have already warned all of us to take our chiche pole out of this one here. She said, well, I'm just paraphrasing, but I'll read that. But what I want you to understand is this. They are friends. But Madam Bowie has a huge platform. And this particular issue affects the lives of many, many young Liberians. So what other way do you want her to criticize? The international community are looking at her as well. Do you want her to be general in her criticism? I don't think so. I don't expect that. She has to focus her criticism at a specific area. People who are responsible, not the president, but those that are charged with the responsibility of protecting a specific segment of our population. And she felt that particular agency had failed. And so she decided, I'm going to have to criticize. So even, I'm sure, not that she didn't think of it, I'm sure she thought of it. I can call this sister, I can call my sister. But what good would it do? We'll be talking behind closed door. People would, what people going to still question because they don't know what I'm saying to her. They're still going to question me. What have you said? The young ladies in Liberia that are looking up to me, we haven't heard anything from you, madam. So I have to go public. But when she came in public, her choice of words was specific as well. Oh my goodness, Samson told you something else again. You're something else. You're something else. For people, you know these things, you don't just go reading because you say you finish. No. You look into it. What is happening here? So her choice of words was also very interesting. Shame on you. And that was the worst of all her pronouncement. Shame on you. The government has failed. She said, the government has failed. But to be specific with the leader, shame on you. She didn't go anything more than that. Now, these people have been friends. They've been fight. According to things I said I wasn't going to do here, I'm going to do that now. According to story, they have worked together. So I'm sure these two ladies know each other. Now, if she wanted to, I'm sure there are certain things she know about Mrs. Tar, Madam Tar, that perhaps she would have come up with. to give up a definite position to defend herself. But she decided to use. Shame on you. Okay. Then Mrs. Todd. This is very interesting, folks. Very interesting. Mrs. Todd also being a friend. But she, again, I've already given you the background. These two ladies work in an area, in a society that is dominated by men. And most often, men do not respect women. Oh, I come to you. Sounds into you, better be careful here today. People start using words. Okay, I will be careful. I hear to cast sugar coat. I was going to say something else. But bamboo with the cola. That's what I say. Oh my goodness, I'm enjoying myself. But on a very serious note. So, Pisota, who also was responding, like I said, I've already given you the background of these two ladies, their position, where they are. Considered, they know, and they're not coming to this thing as strangers. They know the society. They know the society. In fact, when Madam Bowie spoke last year, I think it was an independent occasion, she was very, very tough on the government. On the government. We all watched that. But anyhow, so knowing their position in the community and society, let's put it that way. So they both know very well. They are fighting for something that if all of the time affect women. So they were very careful not to exploit the situation that men would take advantage of them and try to use that same situation against each other. So they were very careful. They were very careful. Now, Pisota, she has a master's degree. She's educated. But when you read what she wrote here, this on the interest of fairness now, folks. Pisota having to be someone that I know. A beautiful young girl lady. In fact, one time Boston District had a convention over in Minnesota where I was a guest speaker, and she was program organizer. She was one of those that were organizing the convention, and she was responsible for the program. So she and I've talked with her before. Okay, and in fact, 2 years ago, she was also a guest speaker at another Boston District convention. She's from Boston District. Let me put it that way. But anyway, that's besides the point. I just want you to know. But anyway. So Pisota is also an educated person. But when you read this thing, first thing is this. Now, someone with a master's degree, they say that you're not doing your job. They will say that you didn't do a good job, you have failed. The government has failed. They said government has failed. And you representing the government, you would think that that person would try to lay out specific area that she has been working to show that she's not a failure. But she didn't take that route. She decided to go as sisters, having a public argument, knowing fully well that it's not going to stay like that. They were very careful not to use words that would be so painful to the point that perhaps their relationship might be damaged. And they were very careful with that, especially Mrs. Starr. Very careful. Very careful. But the interesting thing about that is this. As Mrs. Starr started writing, she also knows that she's a member of CDC. And sedition don't take prisoner. Folks, I'm not just here to make up things. I'm being very factual here. Sedition don't take prisoner. We know that. We also know that she works for a president who is also watching. Okay? Is watching. She also knows she works in an area the sedition government is dominated by men. So she also is quite aware that most people within CDC hierarchy might say, oh, she's not going to say anything because her relationship with the woman, they're friends. So she has to throw a little bit of a red meat. I mean, you got to understand writing in order to know when things are where they are. So let me read for you now this letter. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. It's on front page, but very interesting. Okay? Let's start. I want you to pay attention to some of the word, and if I come up with some interesting word, I will try to underline that and call your attention to it, because I know most of you that are listening on this intellectual platform are educated. So it's not like somebody from Town like Samson told. No, it's far from it. Most of you are educated, so you know what we're doing, what these things are. Okay, so but I will point that out to you. Please just help me out. And like I said, I don't know how to read well. I'm trying to fix something here, folks. Samson too. I'm trying to fix something here. Okay. All right. This is it. I got to center myself a little bit. What do you mean? People watching me too, man. I'm only 25-year-old. What are you talking about? But no, on a very serious note. Let's start. This is what Peter told Todd wrote. Madam Bowie wrote, she said, I woke up this morning to news of the government of Liberia clamping down on a peaceful protest organized by young people against the pervasive rape culture in Liberia. This is sick, appalling, and a big shame on the Weah-led administration. To tear gas and use violence on a peaceful gathering led by women against the pandemic is beyond unimaginable. I called out, listen, that total man reading, he know how to read, I tell you. I called out Minister Piso Tar, or Piso City Tar, shame on you. Aha. Let's see if any other word come after that. Your job demands that you protect the most vulnerable population of Liberia, but you have chosen to align with your political godfather, Minister Tar, who plays politics with the theory of a 3-year-old. I'm not going to go there. But anyway, to say I am mad would be putting it mildly. I am angry, infuriated, boiling inside. If you had done your job void of politics, we wouldn't be where we find ourselves. Sad. Besides shame on you, did you hear any other thing? Now, if this was Samson told, and Alfonso So was writing that I did something with friends that were right, first thing you say, Samson told, you are embarrassment to the Republic of Liberia. You don't belong in this place. Why? What make you think you call yourself minister and you can't? What kind of business? You finish eating planet Kasali, then you cut. You see where Alfonso going with Samson told? But not on a very serious note. You don't find it here. Shame on you. That's the most aggressive word that she used. But I can say shame on you, on any friend, and that will not damage our relationship. Okay, so let's it's very interesting, folks. You have to be able to understand these dynamic. They're friends. I told you that already. But let's go on. In your Facebook post of her own Friday, Minister Todd accused the Nobel laureates of grandstanding, pontificating theaters. Now, this is her own. Oh, yeah. I love these two girls. Bravo, ladies. Bravo. You see, when you're educated, you don't just get into something and you start calling names. No. That now wait. Oh, that mean you talking to? And you remember when what? And none of that stuff. None of that. They're all gradually. I love these two ladies. Okay. True advocate, or a generational honor minor. That is another punch. And I don't believe there are other harder punch than generational honor minor. Okay? Below they say, okay? Below is the full text of the minister response. I normally would not do this, as I definitely prefer not to respond to any form of grandstanding, but rather concentrate on my work. Piece of time talking to us now. But this is a very necessary quid pro. Oh, I thought quid pro that suddenly Congress were using on Donald Trump. They want you to say, yo, something happened, quid pro. Oh, okay. But anyway, let's go ahead. That comes as a result of the unwarranted, bully. You see, there's no, folks, you can call me bully. With that, be honest, you and I have been friends 10, 15 years. If I call you bully in public, will you tell Mr. Samson to don't talk to me again? This is what I'm trying to for us to go. Anyway, bully, assault on my person by someone who should know better. Let me read that again. As a result of the unwarranted bully assault on my person by someone who should know better. Thanks for all. Now listen to this. Is an interesting part I want you to pay attention to now. And then everything else that comes, you should always make reference to what I'm getting ready to read to you from her. She's getting ready to warn all of us. Keep your chichi poli out of this one here, she would say. I'm just paraphrasing. Thanks for all the calls received from concerned friends and relatives. Though at the end of the day, the main issue, you all wanted to get clarity on what went wrong. Okay, all right, that's people right. On what went wrong. Okay, but they say clarity on what was something. But I know that's a typo. Okay, everybody shock is understandable because this attack came from someone everybody knows as one of my closest friends. One of my closest friends. My simple answer here is nothing happened. Nothing at all. My sister friend, Nobel laureate, Madam Lima Boy, and I have had no beef, no fight, no misunderstanding of any kind. Jesus. At least, not that I know of. To put things in context, here is a quick backdrop for those who might not know. We have known each other since high school. Do you understand that? We have known each other since high school. Got really close during the war years. Now, folks, you tell me. Let me put this thing down a little bit. You hear what she's saying? You hear what she's saying? Now, Madam Bowie got her Nobel Prize for her participation of trying to end the war. So, Pisota is telling us, not only have they known each other since high school, but they were very close during the war years. Now, if another woman tells you that I'm close with another woman during the war year, where lawlessness was controlling, but yet still they were able to keep their friendship. You think that man, the Liberian politics will break these two ladies down and make them go apart? I don't think so. But let's read on. We're at each other's wedding. She actually was one of my and then somebody wrote somewhere, some minister, something wrote, Madam Boy, you don't care about your bridesmaid and stuff. She's trying to tell you to stay out of it, keep your chichi poli, but people are not listening. Apparently, they didn't read the thing with a clear understanding. Okay, that's why they got involved. Okay, but listen, bridesmaid. She holds the covered role of grandparent in my family. and we call each other moms and mommy. That's how deep it goes. We have never been in a keeping speech situation ever. We both have unfathered access to each other. Now, before I move any further, I would like to ask, let me read that again. Now, before I move any further, I would like to ask that those with a different opinion than hers, please refrain from going after her in any way. This is a sister to sister conversation that she has initiated, and I'm much obliged. These are two friends, and these two friends, they have the clear understanding. Despite their friendship, they're both serving in different capacity in a male-dominated society of Liberia, where when you're working for somebody, the thing say you're sleeping with that person. That's Liberia. Where some young man working for you doing good on your job, the thing say that your godson or something. That's Liberia. In Liberia, you don't do anything for free, but as soon as you do something good for somebody, they accuse you of something. That's Liberia. And this is the Liberia these two young ladies are working with two bigger platforms. And these two young ladies are so sensitive to their relationship. Nevertheless, they had to engage. There was no two-way street about it. Except Madam Tar have resigned her position. But the fact that she occupies a position that was not, or that people perceive not to be helpful to the plight of the Liberian girls, Madam Bowie was forced to make a statement. There was no two-way street about it either. She had to. She had to. Now you will say, but then how come she didn't call? What good would it do when you have people watching? People, young lady that have been affected. Her voice, Madam Bowie's voice matters a lot. People look up to her. She have to. And instead of being general, because Liberians are not stupid. These young Liberian ladies, just like the men, they're highly sophisticated, educated. You can't come in this kind of situation and make a general statement and think say that's okay. No. She had to be specific. And it happened to be the person who was charged to implement the policy to safeguard these young girls was her own friend. Now, do you expect her to come and sugarcoat because they are friends? Or do you want her to now call the friend at night? I'm going to make a statement tomorrow. Then that would be dishonest. So what she did, which I thought was very clever, was to guide her word to be specific without the intent of damaging the relationship they had. Am I making sense, folks? I like the person. If you want to join Liberian politics now, I'd rather be Mother Teresa. Ah, my goodness. Okay. So, they both were coming to this thing with a clear understanding. Pisota had the time to digest the writing. Pisota had the time to know, to understand the words that was being used. So she too, in responding, wanted to make sure that there's certain language that will be used. But Pisota was in a very difficult situation, to be honest with you. You know, from my perspective. Because she had to respond and please the dominated hierarchy of CDC without affecting her relationship, damaging her relationship with Madam Bowie. So she was in a very tough situation. But those things can be handled by pure being highly educated person. You can get out of these things without any kinds of sweat whatsoever. Now, if this was Samson told from Told Town, I will not sleep. What am I going to say now? So I don't damage my relationship, but at the same time, I got to say something so the president and all people know that I'm responding. Hey, my God, you can't. What I would do? But it wasn't with peace of time. They're highly educated. Let's go on. She already warned us for us not to go after her. So let me read that again. Now, before I move any further, I would like to ask that those with a different opinion than hers, please refrain from going after her in any way. This is a sister-to-sister conversation that she initiated, and I am much obliged. First and foremost, rape. Now, this is where you need to pay attention as to what of these two ladies will come out. Rape is here. They're coming, both of them. This is rape. Okay, let me put it here. This is rape, right? Let's do this. This is rape. We're coming from here. Rape. I'm talking rape. This person talking rape. We're going like this, and we're gonna come back and ending up with the rape issue, or we're gonna come out of the rape, and then before you look, I'm going to Told Town. The other man going to one place. We're not coming back together. That would be an interesting thing for you to watch. Let's go on. First and foremost, rape is an issue that I take very seriously. Who you think Peace of Time is talking to now? She's also engaging the international community. You got to understand these things. They're difficult, but the dynamic that is going on. They're on the international stage. Rape is an issue that I take very seriously, and no one should ever be accused unjustly of being an enabler of rape. I know that politics is interesting, but to use this serious surge to gain point against anybody show one's true color. Okay. No, sis. Remember, when you became a Nobel laureate, the people you call your friends stood aside you, were there for you, placed their arms around you, and supported you. No lesson learned there for you? The least you can do is reciprocate in an authentic way. The English is flowing. But at this point, I don't see no insult, yo. I don't see no that book talking. You think you call them insult? That book talking. Unless you don't understand book, then you will consider like a scapegoat. Let me tell you the story about scapegoat a little bit. No, I will tell you the story later. Let me read it. Sadly, as a woman who won her laureate on the back of others, based on advocating for women, you have failed to see in your action the same thing you have accused others of doing, trying their best to beat other women down just for the hell of it, knowing full well that there is no truth to what you are saying. Nevertheless, still punching in your fleshness for the lack of having anything else to say. However, you, my sister, cannot and will not destroy me. Now, you would think when she used that word, the next time that because you would think now that she's angry, you're trying to destroy me, and therefore I'm going to prevent you from destroying me. And in order for me to prevent you from destroying me, I think I should be the first to see if I can destroy you before you get to me. Because she used the word destroy now. So then what will be the next thing? Let's see. Let's see what will be the next thing. That is not your place, none it is my portion. As you always say, being a blessed daughter of glorious Jesus, Only in his own time. Let me read that again. She's saying, as you always said, that means Madam Bowie always said, being a blessed daughter of glorious Jesus, only in his own time can anything happen. And he sure does not listen to wicked prayers. I love this. I love this. My dear sister, it's getting a little bit rough. It's getting a little bit, to be honest with you, it's getting a little bit rough. But she hasn't crossed the red line yet. I don't think so. My dear sister, prayer tells me, having been a noble warrior for 9 years, what is the hurdle you have in your way that you cannot really, truly utilize your blessing from God to bless your country holistically and see Liberia shine right now? Why is it that the only thing Liberian can get out of you, years in, year out, is a pile of only negative? Now, interesting. Remember, folks, I will continue to remind you as I'm reading these things. I will continue to remind you that she's not just writing for the international community, but she's also writing for CDC hierarchy. So remember last year, Madam Boy was asked, and she didn't play with the government. So she has to bring in for CDC hierarchy, including the president. Yeah, my daughter, yeah, you did well. Because she didn't play with them last year. So I will not go back to your war with the previous administration, as that is not my business. But you and I know that this we are led administration. I told you, I welcome you, that this we are led administration open up to you from day one and show you a hand of friendship, welcome you as a leader from within our generation, blessed with a huge platform to come in with your own ideas to help move the country forward. Yet you choose to snub that hand extended in true cooperation. You and I both know that you, my sister, were one of the first that I called to inform of my performance as minister and to let you know that my door are open to you to help keep the gender agenda on point. This is the best. That it are people who making flour. That ain't the kind of language they will use. It are people who seriously want their relationship to be damaged. That ain't the kind of language they will use. Yet you have refused to give of yourself. You prefer to be this omniscient being, whereas we in this administration. Now this is all about this administration. In this administration, what administration? Judge, we are led administration. Okay, in this administration, at a bunch of buffoon. What has been stopping you? What is really stopping you from giving up this vast knowledge to your people? Vast this government, the post government, the past government, etc. Since I am not doing my job, what has stopped you from reaching out with your savage suggestion? Email the job. What is stopping you from using the same WhatsApp space we talk on all the time about all the other things, everything? What has stopped you from making direct inquiry or making an effort? Please, my sister, you will not succeed in using me as a scapegoat in your bid to endanger yourself where there is a lack of trust. Liberia belongs to all of us and need all hands on deck. I will stop there because the rest of it is just nothing powerful in it. Everything else is there. But the point that I'm making here this evening, folks, The point that I'm making here this afternoon is this. These two young ladies, this is what I mean, and those of you from the Nigeria community that been hanging with Samson Toe, or that Samson Toe are hanging around you guys for so long, you know my conversation with you. And most of you will attest to that. When you're in a relationship, friendship, you have to have the understanding of constant contact, so that you will know. For example, again, I'll use my two little brothers here, Nathaniel Crying and Alfonso. So I can stand right here, right now, as I'm speaking. I'm on air. If I call Nathaniel, even if he's watching me now, if I call him right now, he will answer. If I call Alfonso, he will answer. That's trust. Anyone can leave from here and go to Alfonso and say, you know what? Oh, Samson say. It's not going to tremble. There are certain language that if you use and say Samson say, he will know whether it come from me or not. Same thing with Nathaniel. All three of us. We talk every day, almost every night. Sometimes we stay on the phone until one of us or somebody will go to sleep. It starts snowing on the phone. But at this point, our relationship, it's not something that can be easily challenged, because we have established ourselves. We know ourselves by this point. I can say something to Alfonso that he's not going to consider it to be something that is coming out of envy. Same thing with Nathaniel. Three of us. They can call me anytime, say anything on their mind about me, or thing that I'm doing they don't like. They will say so without the fear, oh, he's older than us, or maybe that's what you will consider disrespect. No. That is the relationship you want to have with people. And I think these two young ladies have that. But they are in a political arena. And I think both of them understood that clearly. And I think both of them understood that they have to engage. There is no way around it. And for that, folks, I take my hat off for these two young ladies, showing young Liberians ladies, in fact, forget lady, young Liberian men, how to engage as a friend in public without degrading your relationship. You can disagree publicly and even use words like that, you're trying to destroy me, publicly. But if you have that relationship with a friend, the friend will know words like destroy. That's not something that comes in their chat room when they're talking. So Madam Boy can even read this thing and know that's who she's talking to. She's most likely not talking to Madam Boy. She's writing the thing, just she's responding in two fronts. One for the international community and the other one for the CDC-led government. And the smart people among CDC-led government, in the CDC hierarchy, the smart men among them would choose not to stay out of this. Only those who are dumb, just like me, will put themselves in the middle of it. And you'll be doing yourself a disservice, because you're not affecting anything. You're not affecting anything. And this is the point that I want to bring to you on this issue. Now, I told you earlier that Madam Pisota is a relation, of course. And I think she handled herself well. And I hope that Madam Boy will see where she's coming from. And I'm sure she does. So I don't need to say that. All I can say to these two young ladies is that Liberia is counting on both of you. And that's why I decided to do half of this show on YouTube, so that Liberia will know, Liberians will know, that whatever it is, the engagement you have, it is not a destructive one. It is not a jealous one. This was an engagement that you are doing, protecting your own area of responsibility. And I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty, because both of you have to do this, have to respond. There's no two-way street around it. Unless Madam Pisota was not in that position. She couldn't have been. Madam Pisota would not have been the target of Madam Bowie if Madam Pisota was the deputy. If Madam Pisota was assistant minister, that comment would not be addressed to her. But because Madam Pisota is at the head of an entity, that every one of us, even me, as an older brother to her, feel that this entity has failed the people themselves, the children, because the way the government responded that day was not necessary. But those that were on the ground, they felt much more pain and frustration. And so people like Madam Bowie, like I said, the international community, she's already been recognized. You don't get these kinds of awards if you don't speak for the people. So once the world put you up there, they expect you to respond to these kinds of stuff. She can't sit there as a woman, Nobel laureate, and sit there as a woman and allow this thing to happen in her country. The young lady put together, they said they're going to demonstrate peacefully and have police doing what they did, and you expect her to sit there because she's friend with Madam Pisota, then you two are not being sincere. She's doing her job. And if I were a member of CDC, I would encourage such performance from Madam Bowie and many other young Liberians, and every Liberian, because by their criticizing, it makes the government stronger. Because if the government decide to take heel, the government will be strong. And this is what I keep saying to this government. The like of Yeke Koluba, the like of Henry Costa, they will make you strong by the time election comes around if you pay attention. They criticize you, not because of the, yes, sometimes they say the food you eat in it, but most of the time, on a very serious note, when they're criticizing on things that's supposed to be a beneficial to the Liberian people. So by you listening to them, you don't have to agree with them. And in fact, I would be a little bit disingenuous here, please, if you don't mind. Pay attention. Say you act like you don't even pay attention to it, but in the background, you fix these things that people are complaining about. In 6 years, by the time election time comes around, you will show to the Liberian people, what are you guys? What do you people complaining about? And they say the pipe broke. Look at the pipe working. And they say they no water here. Look at water here. And it's by them pointing out these things to you, they are helping you for you to lead us. They are not enemy of the state. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. These people are not enemy of the state. But here's what's happening, and most likely will happen. You don't pay attention to these things. You don't have to acquiesce to whatever they're trying to do this, then you say, yes, that's not what I'm saying. But when the election time comes, people like Henry Costa, as smart as he is, you know what he's going to do to you? He will go back to all his old video and call the month, the date, the time, and say, I told the president, I asked the president to do X, Y, and Z. It hasn't been done. 3-4 years later, it hasn't been done. And they will go down the line. We asked, we brought these things to the fore. It's not like nobody have talked about them, but these things were not done. They didn't pay attention to it because they have no ability to lead. Then what you will say there? That time you all come with the political role you're building, There are some major issue the critics have been crying about all these time, these years. But what do we have from them? From your people who's supposed to communicate facts and fiction. Who the enemy of the state is. The political cartel. Watch and see. You will say, oh, Mr. Toh was saying this. Monrovia is not Liberia. Mosorado County is not Liberia. Watch and see this election. This election, especially Mosorado County and Grand Bassa County, they're very crucial. They're very critical. If we, and I say we because I'm a member of I call it Liberty Party, USA that is, and I'm a member of the CPP. Of course, no registration yet, but when I go home, I will register so I can have my own car carrying. I'll be a car carrying member. I will have to register. The only thing I don't know what to register. If I know what to register, I will register. So every time that I come on air, I put my car around my neck. But that does not mean that I'm not going to respect you. You're my president. That does not mean I'm not going to criticize you, but I will do so with responsibility and respect. But those are the kinds of stuff that will happen. Liberians, young Liberians are sophisticated nowadays. Right now, they're piling stuff on the CDC-led government. And when the election time comes, many people, many Liberians, they are tired of being hungry. And most of the hunger is not something that just started in Dr. Weah government. Let's be honest. But who's in charge of this ship? Who's the captain of this ship? You think you captain the ship now? I'm going to worry about who are hungry 2-3 years ago? No. Even if the hunger started 2-3 years, what's happening now? I would say, why you getting facing now? You captain the ship. The men who were captain the ship going toward the iceberg. He was not able to steer the ship. Then you say, I will take it. You take it. We're still going to the same place. We're going to hit the iceberg. Should I call the person who was supposed to turn it? He was not able. Now you say you able. Then we're still going toward the iceberg. Who I will blame now if we hit this iceberg? Even though it started way back, but who would I blame now? You be honest with me. Who should I blame? The buck stopped where, my people? And this is what I'm talking about. So these people are not enemy of the state. Eugene Falcon wrote something here the other day about this young lady that she wants to be relevant in the country. I'm just paraphrasing her. And she wants to do it on the bike of the government. So if she doesn't do it on the bike of the government, who bike she will do it? On something to bike? A big year. On who bike? On Eugene Falcon personal bike? A big year. The government. The government. For the people. By the people. The government. You were elected to lead all of us, whether we voted for you or not. The election is over. But people like Eugene Falcon, they're stuck in the election mode. You can't get out of there. They're there. They're not getting out. The election time is over. Time to lead. And we're here calling people enemy of the state. They're not enemy of the state. These people, if you pay attention, they're helping you. Utilize these people. Not to work for you, but pay attention to the critics. What are they saying? You can discard those who say, oh, we are here, $500 million house that I want to throw aside. If the thing say you're stealing, let them go sue you. The law is there in Liberia. They can deal with that. I'm talking about that. Oh, we are here, drinking Hennessy, and they have to throw that aside. If the people think say you got alcohol problem, let them bring people to at least help you out. They can hire people to get you out of the alcoholic behavior. I'm talking about that. Oh, we are here flying all over the place. That's another issue. Who money you using to fly? That's something you have to pay attention to. Oh, George, we are no food. You pay attention to that. Why there's no food? Why the prices in Liberia is ridiculous? Honor your leadership. If you have people around you that will now lump all of the criticism into one boat and say, boom, enemy of the state, they can't see because they're blind. If you have people say, okay, everyone has a legitimate concern, you put it in the pot before we go to the president. Oh, okay, they want that. You throw that thing. We want to bring that thing to the president. That nonsense. You must have people who have confidence and who trust themselves to be able to decipher what is a genuine criticism. But what do? They take everything, all of the criticism that comes their way, they take it and put it in one boat. Blue, they put it down, call it enemy of the state. Once they classify that as enemy of the state, they will tell you you don't want to pay attention to it anymore. Because yes, this is one of the good things they do. They dehumanize the person who is the critic, the messenger. So by the time they get to you, that person no longer matters. So anything that comes from that person's mouth, it doesn't mean anything. This is why I like something told like Bro Paborito, folks. And when the election time comes, these same people that are calling these people enemy of the state, this thing will be utilized as an election campaign. You know what they're going to say, Mr. President? Right now they're calling the enemy of the state, but when the time comes, when people start bringing these things up, you know what they're going to say? Oh, Mr. President, don't listen to that. The election issue, the people that just talking point, they're putting together. Okay. And what they're not telling you is that many Liberians are sophisticated nowadays. The fact that they are not being truthful with you now, at the end, they will not be truthful with you. Unless you really don't care for your legacy, which I don't believe. As a human being, you like your legacy to be there. And so I thought I'd do this, and let me go on to one other subject matter here. And then I will move on. Folks, that's the issue with Madam Pisotai and Madam Bowie, who are friends, and they decided to engage publicly on a rape issue, rape that affect mostly women, and they decided to engage on the opposite end. However, their engagement was very interesting. They didn't engage to destroy the issue of rape, but diverging from the topic of rape and bringing in something else. They stuck on it, and I thought that was very interesting. So that's what I want to do. Let me go on to the next subject matter. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Let's see. Do I have that? Oh. Okay, folks, just give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I thought I had it. Well, let me see. Okay, Samson told LeBron. In the meantime, please listen to this music while I'm playing while I'm trying to put this thing together. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Thank you. Again, folks, Samson told LeBron Public. My next one, it's an obvious one, you know it. It's about this young man, Yaka Koloba, and he is intent to leave CPP. Folks, if you know my show by now, I'm one of those that is always here, not to promote Yaka Koloba, but I feel Yaka Koloba, Aaron Costa, if they do something that I'm pleased with, I bring that up and I tell you where I stand. However, Yaka Koloba, he's not somebody that is just ordinary lawmaker. Yaka Koloba is standing tall in the Liberian politics with respect to everything else around. But Yaka Kaloba has been complaining for some time that he's not being paid attention to by his own group. And he's feel that every time something happened to him in the process of advocating, that people of his own group will try to cut on him and will not want to back him. And so he was with COP, and he decided with a similar situation, he said he didn't want to be part of that. And now he's leaving CPP. What I want to say to this young man, once again, if you choose to be in this position, those of you that are doing these things, of course, Liberian did not force you to do it. One thing, you do it because you feel you want to speak for the voiceless, and it's very dangerous. Many of us, I told you guys earlier, I didn't even hide it. Many of us are scared, petrified. We can't find ourselves to be in your position where your life will be threatened. Many of us, oh, I got my family. Oh, I got, like, as though you ain't got family. You have Costa over there. You got a young son. The young son is not even able to go in the store and say, I like this thing. Young son. Everything about that young son of Costa depends on his father. Do you guys understand that? Everything about that young son, the water he drinks, the food, the place he sleeps, everything depends on his father. And I'm sure Costa still dress him in the morning. But yet still, he put his lives in danger for us. For us. Same thing with Kaloba. Has a family, have young kids, but put their lives just so that we will be better as a country. People don't agree with them. That's understandable. But they're not giving up. Many of us will not want to stay in their position. Many thousands, millions of us, Liberians, will not want to be in their position. But they decided they want to do this. And the pressure that these people, these young people are under to do this, tremendous pressure. And that's why sometimes, not that people, some of us that are comfortable with the kind of language that are being used, but you have to understand that when these people are criticizing, they have their own unique way of criticizing. But many of us, they seem dear. Some of us, we can't even stand to put our face in the headlight because we don't want the flashlight to catch our eyes. We're scared. But guess what? We sit down behind our computers when these people are criticizing the government, the power to be. Then we stand behind our computer because we can't show our faces. Hey, you're talking nonsense. Hey, you don't know how to talk. Oh, well, who are you? Behind your computer, you can do anything. Go outside. Go when the people at the police and securities are running towards you. Go and stand. Then come back and tell me how it feels. How it feels. So we must at all times sympathize with these brothers. Because the pressure they're under is high. Anything can happen like this and they'll be dead. They're human beings like any of us. So for us to condemn somebody who has put their lives in jeopardy for us, and we just condemn them like this, 2 seconds, without thinking twice, because you sit behind your computer and you have the ability to criticize, to write. You're just as petrified, as scared, just like me. Right now, I'm scared to even go to LIBERIA. All my credits, and I don't want to go to LIBERIA before CDC beat me up. But these people, Henry Costa, Yeka Koluba, they don't, not that they don't care, but they feel within themselves they got work to do. And that work comes with high risk. And they have the clear understanding of it. And they continue to do these things night in, day out. So if the pressure gotten to some of them, people are hearing Koluba, and will make these kinds of statements, we must be careful how we distance ourselves. Because believe it or not, these people, the fact that we don't give them money, but they feed off of our energy, the presence of our energy on them, it's like blessing, and they feed on that. It's the only safety net that they have. If you don't understand that, it's the only safety net they have, I think, my opinion. So if they come up, people like Yeka Koluba comes out and make these kinds of statements, let us don't rush. Yeah, the COP and everybody, but Mr. Costa, myself, he always crying, you know. What is this different? What is it, just a definition of crying? As Mr. Costa hasn't come out before and say his supporters are not supporting him enough, and for this reason, I've had some video here that Mr. Costa has made a statement. She said, how dare you when I'm out here working, putting my life on the line, you guys want to try to chastise me? He has made a statement like that before. But that's understandable. Costa would not have made that statement if he was just an ordinary person enjoying his life, daily life with his kid. But because the kinds of things that he does for us and the pressure that is his honor. So sometimes some of these things that you have to understand that people, we're all human beings. Every one of us have our breaking point. But these young people are very strong. And we appreciate that. But if Mr. Koluba is having this much difficulty, the CPP, the COP must have people on staff on board that will try to engage Yeka Koluba psychologically to see why is he breaking down. Of all people, Henry Costa should be the one, the one of among all of us to understand the pressure. So I was expecting for Henry Koluba, for Henry Costa to use his vast intellect, a very intelligent young man, to be able to analyze, because he does that well. So what I was expecting from Henry Costa was to say, okay, folks, I think we have a problem. Yeka Koluba was with us, but he said we were not supporting him. We have our lawyers supporting him. We did everything to support him. And true, they did. When Yeka Koluba has issue in Grand County, the first person I heard it from Henry Costa, and I decided to turn my phone on that day, and then I started following after that. After that, Henry Costa, because of Yeka Koluba, made some ridiculous statement against the Crown people, which I didn't appreciate. But I'm bringing this up to say that people like Henry Costa have been backward for Koluba as well. But if Koluba is coming up with a second episode, you would think Henry Costa of all, someone who also have these kinds of experience, pressure, would be the one to understand, to say maybe this young man is under tremendous pressure. How can we help him? And suggest. We got Liberians on their team, COP, CPP, highly educated Liberian, PhD in psychology and whatever it is, whatever disease people deal with, people mind and stuff. We got Liberians that are doing it all over here. Why can't they even suggest that? Why can't they suggest help? It might not be damaging. Maybe he has not gotten to the breaking point yet. Because what these people do, many of us will not be able to stand it. By this time, we're going to Chris account. I'm giving it to you as it is. I'm not fooling around here this afternoon. You want to shut me off? Goodbye. I'm giving it to you as it is. These things these people do. When Henry Costa, when he was going home, he has to have a special prayer. What kinds of safety net you got in Liberia? Young men like Henry Costa standing in a convertible. You know what happened to JFK? God forbid. Here in the United States. But they decided, people like Henry Costa decided he's going to take that risk. To see the benefit for all of us. You think their mind is like a steel? Or they're just a human being like any one of us. They think these people do. If many of us were engaged in these kinds of behavior, we'll be in Chris account by now. Okay? We'll be in Chris account by now. So what I was expecting out of Henry Costa, to be specific, not to say Yeka Koluba shouldn't leave, but recognize, let's find out from Yeka Koluba what is going on. And Yeka Koluba can also, Yeka Koluba can also come out and find out what the deal is, my man. If he's friend, if he's partner, my man, you did this thing with COP. We say, okay, why are you doing it again? Henry Costa, knowing fully what the kinds of things you guys go through. It's a secret society if you people don't know that. I mean, secret in a way, the way they're being affected. Only few Liberians will stand publicly to say, I have gone through this. One, Henry Costa, Yeka Koluba, facing opposition, unbelievable opposition. They have come out many of time to say they have general ex-war laws that are ready to carry out any kinds of order anytime. Yes, still they go. You think it means something too? I will be in Chris account. So I think, and I would suggest, instead of just letting Yeka Koluba going on his own and waiting for January for him to make that decision, even if he's going to be making a decision in January. Where's his family? I believe they're still in Ghana. All of these things affect people, even if his family is home. He recently got attacked. Some of us, you're driving in a car and somebody hit you from the behind. And you see, you come up, oh, I saw my light flash right in front of me. And these people do this light flash before me every day. Every day. It's a mind work in Liberia. So if Koluba is making this kind of assumption, don't you think that you, the COP, the CPP, should be able to find out what good is it? God forbid. Everything is okay. However, that he has gotten to a breaking point, mentally unstable because of what he has engaged in. Is that something you want on your record as an organization? A former member of your organization, highly placed member of your organization, and find out that you guys could have helped, but because of certain circumstances, you were unable to help. So I would suggest, show us some of the leadership that some of you trying to bring to this table. Show us you want to dislodge CDC. Show us that you are the person to lead us. Show us that you, as head of the CPP or COP, find out what is going on with Yeka Koluba. It's a mental issue. Can he be helped? If you guys can't even deal with Yeka Koluba, how the heck do you think you're going to deal with us? The crazy Samson Toe and the rest in Liberia. How are you going to deal with us? If you can't get Yeka Koluba, I don't know what's wrong with him. But he had made a decision like that before when he said people was not helping, and we all saw that people were helping. But in his mind and with himself, he doesn't believe people were helping. Why is that? Are we not on the same page? Nobody asking for GoFundMe situation with Yeka Koluba. Yeka Koluba is making enough money. But you guys, the COP, the CPP, in your organization, I'm sure you have people, doctors, that deal with these kinds of situations. If, in fact, if it's something like that. But we're going to sit here, all of us, and condemn him because he's no longer part of this group that we love. So then because he's no longer part of it, we're going to shut the door. Is that the leadership you guys bring into this table? I'm not going to bite anything that is not right. That's not what I do. You can call me names or call me whatever you want to call me. But let's try to do something. We say we want to be different from this government. These are some of the things that are supposed to make you different. Don't shut the door on Koluba. First thing, accept whatever Koluba decision is, that's fine. But let's find out what's wrong with him, if any issue. Because these things are pressure. Look, I'm an engineer. I design roads, sometimes buildings, bridges. Human being going to be driving on those roads. So when I'm done, I go crazy. If I put everything together, all of the safety aspect on this road is there, it's going to hold. What happened to the guardrail I'm putting down here? It's destroying now. Because first of all, I'm not the one that's doing the testing for the guardrail. I have to trust somebody else's judgment. Do you know how much that is? Do you know how much pressure that is? You're done with the bridge. And then you're asking. We have seen many times bridges fall apart. New bridges fall apart. Because people make mistakes. The pressure. And I'm not even facing people like Samson, crazy people like Samson Toe every day. A Liberian crazy man. But these are things we ask these young people to do every day. Costa on his radio station. And people coming to challenge and take his property away. You know what that does to the person's mind? They're strong. Don't get me wrong. But Yeka Koluba, we must do what we can. We don't have to say, I'm not asking him to come back. But he's a friend. I will hope that we find out if there's any issue. If there's no issue, and he can be certified that there's no issue, at least we have done our job. In order for, because you see, you can't just use him and let him go. Calabar were advocating, saying things that many of us were liking. Say, yes, yeah, he's talking. Even though the process and the method, many of us were not comfortable with it. But he talks about things that will benefit the country. So now, if he's going through this issue, something that we all can see clearly, that what he's saying is not in support of what we see. Nobody's helping him. Nobody backing him. When he got issued the last time with those people going to attack him, it was the community that came to his rescue. And yet still, he thinks nobody's helping him. Why? Look, those of you that are in a Nigeria community, I'm blocked. What y'all do to me? What your work can do to me? Nothing. Nothing. I'm blocked. Yeah, y'all know what it means. Nothing you will say or do that will do anything. But this time in a Nigeria community, I know who I am. I know my position. There's nothing you can say or do that will do any. My ain't failing you more. You ain't failing my more. I'm scared of you. I'm scared of Liberia. Yeah, of course. I don't want anybody to attack me. But here in America, you're able. Bring it on. I don't care. No, but on a very serious note, folks. These are the things that I want to talk about today. And I think I'll just go ahead and open the line. And on a very serious note. One last thing before I get out of Calabar situation. Calabar also have to understand that if you agree to be part of a group, the group identity, for me, the way I see it, the group identity is number one. You cannot try to outshine the group. Then the group is not going to be effective, because you're coming in as an individual. But you allow yourself to be part of the group. So your individual identity now is part of the group. You will not be identified on many occasions as member of a group. So if you come into this position, you're always going to have to face challenges. Because everyone in this group are not on the same page most of the time on little issues, but on a major issue they are. And this is what it takes: leadership, good leadership, to mold all of you to be able to have a single purpose. But if you're a member of a group and for some reason things don't go your way, I'm taking my football and going home, you can't do that. Every time something don't go your way, okay, I brought it forward here because you didn't choose me. I got you give my ball, I'm going home. No. Even if they don't choose you, eventually you will get to play. You're part of the team. But because you brought a football and the people didn't choose you, so now you want to take the football so that everybody will go home. That's not how it's supposed to be. And I think Calabar understood that. And I think Calabar has a sense of that as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and open the line. Please question me, bring it on. Whatever you have on mind, give it to me. Whatever, it doesn't matter where you come from. Just give me whatever. You're from Grand Gida or you're from Grand Gida, it doesn't matter. Just bring it on and bring it. Let's have the conversation. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Please, let's do this. coming to Bravo? Jerry, you coming to Bravo again? Okay, no Bravo. The phone line is open. If you want to give me a call, the phone line is open. And if you have something to say, please don't just write. Come and express yourself. Broku is here. Wait, y'all do nothing. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, Lily, how you doing?
No, not bad. Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much, Lily. Let me start with Jacob. You see, for those of us who work on a human services field,
Lodi, you're talking in the phone, you're speaking on speaker because you're not clear to know.
Okay, hold on. Let me take this thing out. Sometimes it gets mixed up. I'm listening to the as well.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
Well, let me lower my monitor. Hello, are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay. Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay, for those of us who work on the human services field, I've been on this field for almost 19 years. The CPP, the COP, they have to do, although COP been doing a lot of things for Yeke, that for fact we all can see it with Henry, also Henry and the other officials of COP. We have to pay very keen attention to Yeke. You see, stress not good. Stress comes with a lot of things. If you sick, as a married man, you cannot see your family members, cannot see your wife, and you are advocating on behalf of 5 million people. And every day, people coming to your house threatening you. Even if Yeke owes anybody that worked for him before, the stress in that ball man is not easy. And secondly, if your health cannot withhold certain things, you're thinking about it, then you're thinking about the country, you're thinking about your people, how the people will eat, what got us here, and why we are here. You know, those things give a lot of stress. The people we're working with, so now they will get up to the toe. They will curse your man. They will curse your pa. They will curse your wife. Even you who said this thing there every blessed day, they will hit on you. We know their problems. We never went through such a trauma like this in Liberia before. That's one. Two, the disarmament that took place in Liberia. Those guys were not traumatized. In fact, we, the Liberian people, were not traumatized. We fought, excuse me, on your show, we fought a better wars in Liberia. For us to come to ourselves, we need to be traumatized. Liberians need to be traumatized. As you correctly said, we live in Boy and the gender minister. You know, no man have to come between these two ladies. Let them talk their thing. You are right. Let them talk their thing. They went to school together. They call one another name. Let them go with it. But I am kindly asking the CPP, even if Yekens wrote and say, I am suspending my membership on CPP, something happened. Yekens said something. There is in-house fight within CPP. Let these people forget about everything. Let them come together. I am happy that we, Rainbow Alliance, was certificated today. I'm happy. I'm just waiting to speak to my leader tomorrow, Dr. Wapple, to tell us what they did, and how we're going to step forward to take the lead in Liberia. Although nobody knows us, for 15 political parties to come together before a collaboration, it's not easy. But Yeke, some of us support Yeke. I support Yeke. I support Darius Delo. I support Henry Koska. But I am not member of ANC. I am not member of ALP. I am not member of Unity Party, neither Liberty Party. But for the sake of our country, let the officials, although Yeke is crying, Yeke work for money, he's crying. But let them see about Yeke man. He's in a deep stress hole that he can't get himself out. Let them take care of Yeke health. And let the officials of CPP go to Yeke. As a human being, he would listen to them. Who do you owe from this government? Who are working for you? Your security that are working for you, if you owe them 10,000 each, pay the money. Let's see what happens after that. If somebody will hunt him or somebody will go to a house again. Because the fellow that went to a house the last time with collars, he was a security to Yeke. He said Yeke owes him. He owes him money. Let's talk to Yeke. the officials of CPP, he's a human being. He will listen. Let us talk to him. Let him pay. Not take it from there, brother. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I really love your show. I learn from you. After this government, whether you old, you go, gray hair all over, you go to Liberia and build our Nima to Grandchildren to Maryland Road before all of us go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A lot of your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Okay, folks, I'll just go ahead and ask Mr. George, Amos George, if you're listening, please call and close this for us so I can get out of here, folks. I think I just try to do my best, and I think I stressed some points here tonight. So, Mr. George, we're waiting for your call. Thank you. Give me a call. Samson Toll. Samson Toll, Mr. George, thank you for calling. Please close it for us. Mr. George, are you with me? Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. The Yeke issue, I really don't want to talk on it. Because when Yeke made that announcement during the weekend, I actually called somebody that I know, the DPP, one of the executive committee members. But I don't want to talk on it right now. So, but I think what I can say, we all that support Yeke, I think those who can talk with him physically need to talk to Yeke to seek counseling.
Yeah, no, but
that's why I'm not nothing like that.
Even if Yeke is to seek counseling, don't you think that the membership? I mean, Mr. George, if CPP and COP, as brilliant as they are, and they are representing good side of this divide, and I think they will be a good leader. But they have to demonstrate that they have the ability to lead. We don't need to call Yeke Koluba individually. If they can ask Yeke Koluba to say, my man, this thing here, we have professional counseling. I'm sure on CPP, I'm sure in COP, they have people who are supporting these organizations and that have the professional license to do such thing. This is where you contribute, not necessarily contributing your money, but the Yeke Koluba and his supporters should not be the one to go seek. If they want to do so, that's fine. That's individual. How do you call it? Individual friend feelings, but as far as things are concerned, Yeke Koluba used to be member of COP, now soon to be former member of CPP. Now, if he's demonstrating such behavior, don't you think that CPP and COP, those that used to be close to Yeke Koluba, should even question as to what is his mental capacity at this time? To continue to do this. It's not something that they need to worry about as a human being. So if they're going to be our leaders tomorrow, they're going to have to demonstrate that they have the ability to lead us by demonstrating now that they can help. This is where you show your true color as a leader. Don't wait until you become president before you start showing it. Do it now.
Yeah, that's true. And what we're seeing here, I think this discussion, it will help in that direction. Those who are members of these two groups will listen to us and see reason to get to Mr. Koluba. And I think Senator Dillon was on a show yesterday and they asked him about the same question. He said that he's going to reach out to Yeke. So I think that's a positive sign. He's going to reach out to Yeke. But I want to I listened to Mr. Costa respond today. And I think, let me be very honest, Mr. Costa has his right to speak his mind, but I don't think if I were him, I would have addressed it the way he did today. I don't think so. I felt that even because we are yearning for people, for leaders in Liberia, and if we're going to talk like this, then why should we complain about George we are government?
Exactly.
If somebody is with us and the person leave for some personal reason, and they come out and say they need help. I think we should be in the position to show that person compassion to say, hey, we stay concerned about you. And that person, people will say, oh yeah, I think this group, that's a good group, look what they're doing. Even the person left it. But as I said again, that Mr. Costa position. But if I were him, I would have taken a different route, not to come out to address the issue like he did. But that is his right. But I just think I would have done it different. Because if we say we want to change Liberia, these are the little things that will show people that if we get to power or they get to power, they can do things differently. Even if people tend to disagree with them, I think that's the bigger picture we should be looking at.
Even if the CPP and the COP, even if they were to suggest to their membership to say, look, we want to transport Yeke from Liberia to the United States to seek medical help, just to find out, not necessarily that Yeke has a mental problem. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. But at least give him the benefit of the doubt and give his family the benefit of the doubt that he's okay. As a human being first, let's approach it as a human being, that we do care for him, not just as an advocate. And then after that, we can go to advocate second. But as a human being, let's find out if he's okay. But to come out like Mr. Costa did this, I was a little bit frustrated with his comment this morning, to be honest with you. Okay, but of course,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I said, they respond. I mean, it is great, but I was a little bit disappointed. Maybe that could be a strong word, but I was a little bit disappointed. Because the LPR is now with you people now. So if he come out to say he's been missed, he's not happy with the situation. I think as a brother and former colleague, it is incumbent point to reach out to him and say, hey bro, what's going on? Even though we apart and you left us, we still got some ties together because we all are fighting towards the same thing. And say, hey bro, what happened? How can we help you? And I think that would have been more of a way of approaching the issue, but then instead of just coming out and saying, the way he said it. But again, we are all different people. We approach things from different perspectives. But if we say that we want to build a better Liberia, then of course, even when people tend to disagree or they leave us, when there's something they're saying that concerning the well-being, we should be concerned to reach out to them. Even if we cannot help them, but let's just reach out to them and say, hey, what's going on, bro? And I think that's the way we should go. But let me just leave it on that note. And I think the CCP, the CPP, I think they are listening to us, and I think they will try to do something for Mr. Yeke. And I pray that Mr. Yeke should continue to do what he's doing. But then let me count on these two ladies on the issue. Mr. Tra, let me paraphrase. She said that in one of her, I think she said that it was like paraphrasing Mr. Bowie is not helping to elevate young women. But then there was this thing, Bowie, that hired Mr. Tra as chief of staff in her office. So Mr. Tra, how can you reconcile those statements? Okay? Second, when it comes to public issues, it's no more sister to sister, Mr. Tra or Madam Bowie, because what is the issue at stake is the well-being of Liberian children and women. So it cannot be, nobody should go after her because that's sister to sister. No. It's not sister to sister again. Because the issue there is about Liberian children and women being raped or has been sodomized. So if someone says something related to that issue, it is for public discussion, consumption. So we have to look at the pros and the cons. So Minister Tar, this is not sister to sister issue. It is concerning everywhere many being Liberians. The issue being raised here is not personal. So the issue is here is every Liberians. Second, Minister Tar and Apostle, I think you are doing yourself a favor to outline the step that you are taking. So he took what the Minister of Gender in fighting rape and sodomize in Liberia. So Madam Bowie, they say, hey, and the international community. Then we talk over. These are the cases that we have solved. These are the cases that are pending, and this is what we're going to move forward. Mr. Tar, you are highly intelligent. You should have outlined that to Madam Bowie to make her to know, hey, don't just say these things, but these are the things we are doing. These are the steps we are taking. Thus far. But in a month time, according to statistics, 957 cases in not even a month, less than a month of rape in Nigeria. That is very alarming and appalling for any government to say that, at least that they are fighting in no way. In 1 month, in 6 months time, 958 cases. That is something to put fear in every citizen in Nigeria. So, to say that it's sister to sister, no, it's not sister to sister. And secondly, I think it was last year, the United Nations Women, group, they wrote a letter to Minister Tar saying that they are giving funds to that ministry to fight rape and empower rural women. They asked for accountability of that money and letters. It was public in the paper that if they don't get an account and report of that fund, they were not going to continue that program. Minister Tar,
but Mr. George, I think you're speaking out of the scope of the conversation here tonight.
Okay, let me just come back.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
but I'm just trying to outline.
I know all of those things, but that wasn't the intent. The intent is to say that these are two sisters that has been thrust into this conversation because of their position. And they understood their position quite well, and they decided to engage each other publicly without however way they engaged each other. They were mindful of their engagement, and they were also mindful that however way they engage each other, that their relationship remained intact. That's the conversation that I'm trying to have here.
But let me push back a little bit. I'm not concerned with the personal relationship, Mr. Pro. I'm concerned with the issue of it.
No,
but
if you do
I'm not concerned with that.
If you do that, if you say you're not concerned with these women relationship, then perhaps you're now putting yourself in the description that I gave to the Liberian society, male-dominated society that cares less about women feelings.
When I mean I'm not concerned about the personal relationship, the issue here is rape. These people, they went to school together, Mr.
Mr. Judge, this is how I'm not trying to frame it for you to take my side or look at it from my perspective. But what I'm trying to lay out here, that despite the difficult issue of rape, and I think I lay it out perfectly for you, where I stated that this is an issue of rape, and the rape usually most of the time affect women, and you have two women with a bigger platform engaging this issue, the rape issue, publicly. However, they have personal relationship that they were trying to protect just from the writing, and this is what I'm trying to approach, and I think if you can help me to address that, that would be helpful.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I understand. She, especially with Minister Tar, she went into deep to lay out where they came from, and up to now she spelled it out right away. But when I'm saying that, I'm not concerned about this personal relationship, because what I'm saying here is that we have to put that thing outside and look at the issue. Because I saw some people saying, "Oh, why should they call her? Oh, should I call her to consult her?" But this is why one of the problems we have in Liberia. Because I'm friend of the minister, and the minister is doing something, I cannot criticize the minister in public. Then they say, "Oh, he's not my friend again." And these are the things we have to get rid of. And I think it was from that point that Mrs. Nima Bowie came from. So say, "Hey, this is why to go in and use the S-version on you." And Mrs. Starr came back to say, "Oh no, this is what's happening." And I don't think what you're saying is really true. So that's at a professional level. And that's what I expect, because if we continue to call our friend, oh, mama, I'm going to talk to you, what you say, what you want me to say, I'm going to say that no. These are the issues we're having in Liberia today. Because the moment you come out to say something, you're my friend, then people want to frame it as these people are the worst enemy now. And it shouldn't be like that. Right. The friendship should be taking out of these issues, especially when it comes to national issues.
And that's the point that I'm making, that these two ladies have the ability to compartmentalize, when it comes to this issue, to compartmentalize their relationship with respect to the discussion on the table. They were able to engage each other without damaging the relationship. That's what I'm suggesting.
Oh, yeah. And it was done on a highly professional level.
Exactly.
But it was done on a highly professional level. But on the other side, many people have problem with the issue. Oh, why she responding like that? Oh, why she saying it to her friend? But I'm trying to say, hey, this is a professional issue, and they are handling it professionally.
Right.
They're taking the friendship out of it. And that's the only way people can learn and grow.
Right.
When we learn how to tell our friend constructive criticism, not denigrating, not throwing someone into the water, but just telling them, hey, this is how I feel, and I think you need to improve on what you're doing. I think that's being professional. Right. Compared to men, because we always have people.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question on a different subject matter. The conservative, Mr. So, and I was engaged last night, and I was winning as a liberal. But you jump in and say, cut the liberal off. Is that how you guys, conservatives, is that how you guys behave? When you knew very well that I was winning my argument, and you just jump in and say, Mr. So, cut the liberal off. I read that and I'm like, okay, these people really fight. They're inching for fight, you know?
No, that is the thing here. You people will always come to sing hallelujah. You and George Lobo were there singing, saying all the good things about your party. How you had done this, how you do this. And we are, and Mr. So was trying to say, hey, gentlemen, I'm here to play hardball. I'm a conservative. I'm not those liberal idea. Tell me something that you will do. Don't come home. We did this. We are doing this. No. We for the people. We want people to be independent, work. But liberals, they always want to feed people. And when I saw you and Joe Lobo jumping on Mr. So, I know you're a strong fighter. I just said, Mr. So, this is your program. You just cut the man off. when today on his platform, he can call anybody off if he wishes to do so. But we shall know he won't do. But we conservative, no, we don't ask you too much. We take action.
I know.
So I just said that
and this is where we are with the pandemic, because you guys, when you're supposed to take action, you don't take action. So we know who you are. We know who you guys are. But it's just surprising to me that when you know I was winning the argument against the staunch conservative, but you jump on and say, Mr. So, cut the liberal off. And I thought, okay, that's exactly.
You are a guest on the program, and you trying to overtalk Mr. So.
No, it means that I was expressing myself freely, and I should be allowed to do so. As a liberal, we like people to challenge our view. But on the other side, with you conservatives, nobody should challenge your view. Your view is supreme. And this is not how we take things in the liberal world.
Okay. But on a very serious note, I envy the 3 days of the Boston District Convention.
Yeah.
I really. And I sat down. I look around and ask my people from Bone County, look at what can we copy from these people of Boston District? And I always say this to people. I don't care what you say, but the people of Nigeria hold together. They hold together. And I'm from Bonkande. We are quite the opposite, Mr. Toll. And when I saw that convention, the 3 days, I was very impressed of the people of Boston district. And I was telling somebody, I said, there are two countries that are in Liberia that really, when they say progressive in the country, these people are progressive. I say, Nigeria, you see, Nima, those people, when they have a convention, you can see that there's a convention. Even there's a differences, but you can see the people at that point. And what transpired over the 3 days, look, I must say bravo to you people and the citizens of Boston district. You have did extremely well. And
that was under the leadership of Mr. J.J. Dennis, who was the president of the association. You know, one of the things happening on this, Mr. George, to be honest with you, it's not like this thing, Liberians, any Liberian organization can do that. But the interesting thing about the Boston district is that even in Grangia, they don't mind being the test case. They don't mind being the first to test anything, you know, because they also know that testing is not guaranteed. Success is not guaranteed, but you have to try. Because you say, okay, I'm gonna do this. I haven't done it before. I'm gonna do it. But if it could go anyway. And so when they suggested that, we ourselves at LPR have not done stuff like this before. And we figure, okay, how would the logistic work? So people started getting around, started working. How do we connect? How do we do this? How do we do that? So by the time we were done, we had, Mr. So had a clear understanding what it is that he wants to do. The funny thing was, the people from Boston District, having allowed themselves to be the test case on it, but you could see the first night, they were not forthcoming, they were not trustworthy, they didn't trust the system. You know, they were not coming as many as we thought it would happen, because other people were standing by waiting to see, you know, who's gonna do what. But then when Saturday came around, after the Friday night, and they got back, started viewing it, and they started passing on information from one person to another. Saturday, as soon as we opened, the whole switchboard just went off. Everybody calling in. Well, we can't have everybody in the same time. But by that time, the trust was there, and then it started adjusting to their lighting condition, how to do the lighting and things like that. So these things it was very interesting. And I bet you, if we have to do it again, it will be much, much more advanced than what it was this gone weekend. But that's the case of not being afraid to test something. If you're not afraid to test, you become the first. And any other person that come after that, they're just picking after you. Hopefully they will improve the system. The fact that you started, that would not mean that you're not going to be in a history book. And I really appreciate the people from Boston to even stand publicly, because they could have gone bad and Boston District name would have been out there. But they trusted their leadership, and the leadership trust his own instinct as well. And so he decided to engage. But anyway, Mr. George, I've been out here for quite a while.
Yeah.
I want to thank
you. Anyway, bravo to LPRC, because they would say they were the first Liberian TV station to host a version